brought to you by the Enterprise World. Today we have with us Brandon Ezra, who is the CEO of Grand Welcome. Brandon established Grand Welcome, a property management company that currently oversees short-term vacation homes in 16 states in the US. Despite his humble beginnings as an outdoor enthusiast, Brandon's love for the natural world motivated him to invest in this industry. With a keen focus on delivering high revenue for property owners and top-notch services to guests, Grand Welcome has rapidly expanded its presence in the US, currently managing over 1,500 vacation rental properties in the most desirable locations nationwide. So in this interview, let us know more about the company and Brandon. So welcome, Brandon.
Thank you. Thanks for the introduction.
Our pleasure. So I'd really like to know more about your company. What was the vision and mission behind the company? And if you could just brief us about it.
Yeah, sure. Well, the companies, we are a franchise. So the locations predominantly are franchise locations, albeit we started as managers. So we still keep about 6 or 7 locations for ourselves.
Okay.
The vision and the mission behind the company was to help enrich short-term rental communities worldwide. So every location that we're in, we manage short-term vacation rentals, and the people are generally local people that produce the income and the profit. And so the money they produce stays within their community. Most of them are pretty connected to the community, and it's instead of the money being funneled out to some large corporation, it's going to help the community. Okay. And vacation rentals is a community business. It's not a hotel business. It's very different. And so that's the vision. And our mission, of course, was to support franchisees, who are the predominant reason we're expanding. Now 60 locations. We're actually in 18 states recently since we, I think, set up the meeting. And by the end of the year, we should be in about 150 locations in about 25 to 30 states.
That's great. That's great. So what are some of the exclusive products and services offered by the company, and how do you decide to take the company further in terms of your products and services?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we offer, in its simplest form, managing short-term vacation properties like Airbnb properties. Okay. We clean them, we maintain them, we pay the taxes, we collect the money. We do everything required for the property owner. Okay. The things that distinguish us from other people in the market is, you know, in this industry, either you're a really big national company, very corporate, or you're generally a small type operator in the local community. We offer a combination of both, which is quite powerful. So franchisees are local in the community. They're connected to the community. They're very plugged into what would make it successful and gives the personal touch. And then Grand Welcome in the background has got all the horsepower, if you will, or the leverage of the large companies. And so it's a combination of both, which has proven to be very powerful and is producing great results. Okay,
great to know. So, you know, what were some of the initial challenges that you faced while you started the company, and how did you cope up with them?
Man, I don't know if you have enough time on the interview for this.
I think. Okay, you can just mention one of the biggest challenges that you faced and how to overcome that. That would be better.
No, of course. No, of course. I was just joking. Yeah, the cash flow is a big deal, right? So we always were doing pretty well as a company with growth and building our structure and figuring out who we want to be. We actually started out just as a manager, and then we started buying locations. And then when we took a look at what that means to become a big corporate short-term rental manager, we didn't like it for many reasons. One of the primary was financial. It just doesn't really work that well. And so, so basically, we just continued moving forward, and here we are today.
Okay. So, you know, when did the company actually started franchising? And what was the turning point that actually promoted it to do so?
We started, we officially launched the flag about 1 week before COVID.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, so we launched the flag, and then we just saw airplanes and people in blue suits and all this weird stuff. And you're like, man, this is probably not going to be good for us. So,
I know.
but it's like we weren't too hung up about it. We've got a great financials. We're a healthy company. We didn't do this out of some act of desperation. We did this out of a very calculated, deliberate plan to grow a successful brand. So it was okay. Ultimately it worked out great for us. It was vacation or short-term rentals just kind of went through the roof after that, and the rest is history.
Okay. And I really want to know, how do you incorporate technology in this? Like, do you incorporate it?
Yeah, sure. Technology is platform of everything we're doing.
Exactly.
It ties everyone together, the property owners, us, all the channel managers like Airbnb and Verbo and Booking.com, all the cleaners, the maintenance people, everybody's tied together with technology. Sales and growth to get more property owners is technology driven. So look, you need great people to run technology, because you can have the best technology with not the right people. So our real strength is our people. There's no question about it, but our technology is pretty darn good.
And when there are like some changes that happening in the franchising industry, how do you comply to your services and products to match up with them?
Yeah, well, we're always looking ahead. So we meet on things on a weekly basis. We have very strong quarterly meetings to look at the industry, the landscape, changes that are happening. We take action now. So there's things we're doing now as we speak, which are things that we think might be a challenge in 3, 6 months, even 12 months, even 24 months down the road. And we start to put things in place now. Some of them never materialize, and it's a little bit of time and money spent, but think of it as an insurance policy. We invest in things that in the future could be a problem. It's like having an insurance policy, the biggest insurance policy against, the biggest challenges. And so it's just built into the way we operate, really.
Okay. So is there any criteria of becoming a franchise partner with the company?
Yeah, there's a couple things that count. The first is a willingness to be a franchisee, because it's a unique position. You need to be highly collaborative. You need to want to work within a system, a proven system of success. If you're someone who's very independent and just wants to do your own thing, that's great. That's kind of most business people, really. Franchisees are 5-6% of the market, the business world. And but if you don't, franchising is good for you. And then the second is we're looking for people with a very hard work ethic. Our franchise is not that expensive to get into. It's a very, very reasonable investment. But the other side of the investment, the other side of that equation, is hardworking, focused people. If you want to just cut a big check, there's lots of franchises you can do that with, of course, with a very high risk attached to it in a lot of cases. So, this is the main criteria.
Yeah, I think my next question aligns with it, because I really wanted to know, what were the 3 prominent reasons why one should consider franchising with you?
Oh, the 3, well, first of all would be a tried system of success, where we are a proven successful company, which of course is very important. The second, interestingly enough, would be the people. So I always tell people, when you're going to come meet our people in a discovery day, which is the last kind of stage in a franchise sales process, I tell people half of what you're going to see is technical operations, right? And the other half is, to me, maybe even more importantly, is the people you're going to work with. We have outstanding people in our company. And I'd say the third is we're a cutting edge company with cutting edge technology and ideas and systems, and we really are leading the market. These are very important reasons for us.
Okay, great. And how do you think has franchise leadership changed over the years?
Well, I'm a new franchisee. I've only been in this for, say, 3 years, right? Albeit growing quickly and successfully. But I've got friends of mine who have run the biggest franchises in the country, and for decades, really. And, changes, probably the most prominent change is legislature.
Okay.
The restrictions on franchising have tightened up over the years. And that's been a bit of a challenge. There's more paperwork, there's more T's to cross and I's to dot, roadblocks for growth. And so I think that's probably the most challenging. But I will say that's probably offset by the appetite for franchising, which has grown tremendously. So even with all these challenges, franchising, as call it an industry, has still grown substantially. In fact, it makes up almost 6% of the entire US GDP.
Okay.
So it's pretty, franchising as a country is one of the largest countries in the world, if you want to look at it that way. So even with all these challenges, there's just smart enough people that are in the Franchise Association, the IFA, that are tackling these challenges, and they're doing a great job doing it.
Okay, amazing. So what is your responsibilities in the company? How do you do your leadership? And if you would just highlight some of your professional achievements throughout your journey.
Yeah, sure. I'm CEO, founder
Yes.
of the company. So obviously I'm responsible for driving the company forward and leading the leaders. I'm the visionary in the company. I'm the person who's looking into the future and looking to where we need to go and what it should be, with a tremendous amount of feedback from my team, of course. This is not run autonomously. This is run by a group. And then my biggest accomplishments, it may seem sillier. There's a lot of accolades that I've got through growing to where I am. But the biggest accomplishment's been able to attract the best people in the business to come and work and help me do this. We really have the very best people. There's no doubt about it. And that's really everything. So that's probably the biggest accomplishment that I have today. Many years ago, it wasn't so easy. I wanted the best people, but we weren't there. But today is very different.
So I think it seems, sir, that you are a people-focused organization.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the key.
And so how? Okay. And so how do you, motivate your employees, and what is so unique about your team? As you mentioned that, you focus more about the people, you are willing to work with the best.
Yeah, well, you first got to have values and a culture. I mean, that's the foundation of any good organization or even civilization, right? We've got 6 really key values we use to run this business by. They're meaningful to us. We actually use them tremendously. That's helped to create a culture that drives everyone to want to support each other, focus on success, focus on our achievements, focus on what we're trying to accomplish. And that's really all you have to do. We don't have any shiny little trinkets or special things that we try and get people to focus on. Just the values of the business and what we're trying to achieve. And that's really about it.
Okay, so that's really nice to know. So this actually my next question aligns with the franchising part itself. So how do you assist your franchises in particular through crisis situations like the pandemic situation or any economic conditions that happen?
Well, I've been doing this now for over 20 years. So I've seen a lot. I've seen COVID, I've seen the crash of 2008 and many things in between. So I've been through a lot. I've got a lot of experience with this. And like any crisis situation, you've got to just look at the facts. And based on the facts, you make calculated, deliberate decisions to limit the damage. Many things are out of your hands. You can't control certain things in this world. What you can do is limit the damage. You can be reasonable. And once again, if you've got great people working for you, everyone's on board to get out the other side successfully, and you find a way. So I don't think there's any silver bullet other than being probably as pragmatic as possible, as honest with yourself as possible, and having the right people to work with.
Okay, amazing, sir. So as you mentioned previously that you have a track record of successful projects and results, outcomes that you've got over the years. So I'd really like to know what is the reason behind the long-standing success of the company.
Sure. The long-standing success, well, first of all, there's been many failures in my 20 years. The failures have led to us being able to be successful. And still today, there's things we work on. And I think really it's the answer to my question, or to your question rather, is our success is more based upon our ability to deal with the failures and to deal with the challenges. Okay. Because success is very easy to deal with. That's not a problem. Success is great. The challenges and the hard work and getting through that's really the key. So I didn't exactly answer your question, but I think in essence that's what we focus on, and that's generally what gets us our success.
Yeah, I think failures are obviously the biggest lessons that we can learn from, and moving forward, we should always incorporate what we've learned from them and then move ahead.
That's your best chance of winning. Yeah. And
Okay.
it doesn't always work, but
Yeah. Okay.
hopefully it does. Yeah.
Okay. So, I'd really like to know, what is that one piece of advice that you'd like to give to budding entrepreneurs who will be in the franchise space in the next few years? If there's any advice like you'd like to share.
Yeah, so first of all, franchising is not easier than regular business. It's way more complicated. Some people look at it as a pushing the easy button. It is not the easy button. You have now responsibility for other business owners, and a lot of responsibility, a lot of legislature, a lot of process that has to be respected and has to be done correctly. And my ultimate advice to any entrepreneur, franchising or not, is just get ready to work extraordinarily hard and stay extraordinarily focused. Write down what you want to achieve and work as hard as you can to achieve it every single day. And the journey is going to be, initially is going to be 99% a lot harder than you could ever imagine. And after a long period of time, things will come together. That's really the truth. If you're not willing to do that, then you probably shouldn't do it, because you might be putting yourself in financial jeopardy.
Yes. So what do you think in the next 5 years, how do you see the franchise industry growing? Like, obviously you said that it's expanding at a very rapid pace and everything. So how do you see it?
Well, yeah, it's growing pretty rapidly. It's got great people involved. The IFA, the International Franchise Association, has got the very, very best people that you could ever want to run an organization. And it's based upon the bedrock of any country, quite frankly, which is entrepreneurship and creating success and creating wealth for families and people and communities. And this is, to me, ultimately the reason it's been so successful. And the reason it'll continue to be successful is because of that built-in drive that everyone has to want to create some value and create security for themselves and their families. So it's based upon all the good stuff, and it continues to be so.
Great. And so how does your bright future look for your company? What is your bright future for the company? What are you
we're focused on maintaining our quality, maintaining success for our franchisees. This seems to lead other people to want to work with us and to grow the brand. All going well, in the next 5 years we'll be an international brand for sure. To what degree, we'll just see what it brings to us, and just making sure we do one step at a time. We don't take any big chances or do anything that's too detrimental for the company, but we grow steadily.
Okay, so great. So I think that is what I had from my side. So thank you so much. I know you're traveling, and this was hard for you to come and give us your time, give us the time. So thank you so much for your time, and I wish you all the best for your future. And I hope that you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. You too. All the best. Great speaking with you. Go well.
Yes. Bye. Thank you so much.